And with that, I'm back to Dr. Clay. Thank you for that, Gabby. Sorry I missed that. Again, most successful person I know. He is a physician, entrepreneur, a speaker, a humanitarian, and an author. And he is a guide for doctors who are really ready to live again. So this is the 2.0 of his career, is realizing, and I've had the privilege of helping him map this out lately, is to really heal the healers. Doctors have been under so much fire lately. And I think that's because the health industry is getting disrupted. Ideally, the positive thing about the disruption is that there's an industry where people are incentivized to be healthy versus keep them sick. And I think that we've all heard that. And I think not that doctors are wanting that at all. But I think the industry itself is being disrupted and doctors are getting the brunt of it. And so many people have dedicated their life, these doctors, to helping serve and heal other people. But they're having between AI and some of these things, they're just getting constantly challenged and burned out. And so he wants to keep them in the game, serving well, helping people heal. We all have physical issues that we want helped, that I'm going through myself right now. We need these people to be on their top game. So he's doing an amazing job helping guide other doctors to be able to have a peace, a presence, a calling, and to be financially self-sustainable enough that they can serve the way they want to serve, not the way they have to serve. So he spent 3 decades helping people feel whole in mind, body, and spirit. He's built one of South Carolina's largest medical practices from the ground up. He's always led with purpose. He eventually just sold it recently, actually, and on his own freaking terms. After witnessing that burnout in his patients, peers, and himself, he dedicated his life to guiding high achievers back to joy, prosperity, and peace. He's the author of Winner's Travel, founder of Winner's Travel Foundation, and creates powerful retreats and experiences that help leaders reconnect with purpose, restore energy, and remember why in the heck they set out to heal and serve in the first place. With that, welcome, type of 1, if you're excited for Dr. Clay Lowder. Clay, you there?
I am here. Thank you. Thank you. Give me a big 1. Winners travel, baby. Hey, just because you're here today, you're winners. Because winners travel. And that's my book. And I wrote that in 2019. It means winners do travel, losers sit at home. So what it really means is spend the rest of your life looking to travel, looking to be somebody, looking to go somewhere, set goals, let's freaking go, right? And I brought this book to the island. I met Britnie Turner. I immediately signed up for G-Force, got coaching, and it changed my life. And I didn't know it was going to hit me, BT, but I've retired just like a month ago from being a beloved family doctor in my hometown. I set up one of the biggest clinics, sold it 3 years ago, and I just loved it. But I'm going to explain to you what happened to me to give me my whole path to prosperity. And this is for the doctors. There's a lot of doctors, as she said, are hurting, and this is going to be for them. But it's going to affect you too. And just because you're here today, I'm going to teach you something about life and something that I did that's different than other people. And I think once you'll see it, you'll say, I can do that too, because it doesn't take high income. In fact, doctors are the worst sometimes, right? They might make really good, but they don't keep money really well. And so I'm going to explain to you my 4 or 5 steps, whatever we get into, and I'd love your comments. And then you can ask me anything you want, anything, and I will answer. It can be about health and wealth, prosperity, but let's dive in. And for the first thing, you have to know. Go back to the last slide. You just have to know your purpose, our purpose in life. And that is the first thing that Britnie taught me when I walked into that island is, hey, Clay Lowder, what's your purpose? And I'm like, well, I take care of patients. Well, it turned out to be so much more than that. So here's the process. Okay, next. To start with, you got to have a long-term plan. When the ship leaves the harbor, the captain's got to know where he's going. If he doesn't know where he's going, if you don't have this long-term plan written out, it's not going to work. Your life's not going to be the same, Jeremy Newsom, Jenna Griffin. It's not going to be the same, Shonda. You got to do something different. And so write your eulogy. I want y'all to write that down. Write your eulogy. You don't have to be at a magic private island. It's a lot nicer. But when I wrote my eulogy on the island, and there it is for you on the screen, I wrote about founding Lowder Family Practice in '96. The flies get me. And then I turned it into colonial healthcare, and I had 50 doctors, and it was like 2 sentences. And then my next sentence says it all. It said, at 56 or 55, Clay realized he could do so much more in my life. And that's what I'm living right now, because it challenged me to, my eulogy challenged me to do something different. So the second step after your long-term plan.
Wait, can I jump into here too?
Yes.
Before you go into second step. So I had the privilege of coaching him through this. And one of the interesting things was to take your relationships to the next level. We had Clay actually ask some good questions. So he wrote the sentence, Clay was first and foremost a devoted husband and father. He married his high school sweetheart and cheerleader, and they were together for 74 years. She was the wind beneath his wings, blah, 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 blah. And one of the challenges I gave Clay was, can you go to your wife, and then what he said about his kids, and ask them if they would say that about you? And ask them honestly. And if they won't say that now, then ask them, what do you need to start doing today to make those statements true? Because a lot of times we love in the way that we think that we would receive love, or we think that they would want to receive love. But just a relationship exponentializer is to say, how can I make you say those statements? How do I make you feel this way about me? What do I need to start doing differently? Or what should I continue to do to make that statement true? And I think that was a really cool conversation that you ended up having. And I watched you start doing a lot of really different things with your family after you made this eulogy, which is really beautiful. You took action. He's an action guy. It's like, you know.
Once you get with Britnie Turner on G-Force in the Island, you're different, right, guys? You can't turn her down. And so she was like, okay, you got to do this different. You got to do this different. So the next thing, my relationships with my family have flourished. I brought them all to the island. My cup ran over. So second step after your long-term plan is you got to live intentionally every day, and you have to use tools, because listen, lean in, guys. Life is short. You got one chance to do this. So today, if you take home anything, it's this short mentality. I don't care if you're 20 or 80. I've watched guys die at 80 all day long, and they're like, my life went like that. It went like that, and it's over. So if nothing changes, nothing changes. So today, I want you to focus on living intentionally and use these tools that G-Force gives you, especially for doctors. We don't ever do this kind of stuff, but sit down and write a one-page personal plan. And that's what I did. And it on that plan, it's almost like one-page PDF of where you want your life to go: relationships, achievements, lifestyle, wealth. Wealth, it was important, but it was a smaller thing compared to my relationships and other things. And so once I had that PDF, I looked at it every day for 2 years and said, I'm going to do this, this, and this. So one big picture, write your eulogy, where you go. And number two, smaller steps using tools to guide it. And she'll even get it into a 1-day plan, which you can do tomorrow to start getting into that 30, 60, 90-day stuff.
All my heroes in all of G-Force, you have these tools. If you're in G-Force and you can't find this tool, we can easily send it to you. It's in the library. But this is a crazy story. This is where you got to really have your perspective tied to a higher calling.
Yes, this is my dream house on the left. My wife and I grew up in rural South Carolina, high school sweethearts, and we went all over South Carolina, took pictures of colonial homes that we wanted to build. And lo and behold, y'all got to be careful what you do in this eulogy and write down, because the dang thing will come true. I wrote this. Kelly's on this call, right, babe? Like in give me a one, babe. If in 1984, we dreamed this house and we took pictures. I had it in a scrapbook and we built it. And then on July 1, 2019, one of my alarms went off. I thought it was like a burglar alarm. I got out of bed. My wife and daughter are watching the Bachelor or something stupid, and I'm reading a book, getting better, faster, stronger. And so I go outside and smell just like a cigarette smoke. and ended up going into the garage, and the garage is in flames. And in 10 minutes, my whole house burned. And that's the picture on the right where you can't even see it. Next slide. And so imagine, guys, 10 minutes, everything you'd worked your whole life, your whole dreams, just now. It's not a tragedy because everybody got out of there. I lost a dog, one of my little dogs, my little squirrel dog, Little Britches. Rest in peace, buddy. And I lost him, and I found my tiger rag. Obviously, I'm Clemson, and it's the only thing I found. That I see you shaking your head, Blake. You sorry. And so I found, you know, I found my one tiger rag, so I had a little solace. But what, we go out in front of the house and we just watch it burn down, just columns, and we're all crying, and the town folk all here in my small town, and they all come out, and we're all sitting out there singing praise hymns and just thankful we're alive. And I got, literally, Kelly looks at me, and I got on my reading glasses and my boxers that are cut from here to here. Now I'm telling you, they're ripped. She said she threw them away like 10 times, and that's them right there. And she's like, seriously, that's all you got in my life. And they're purple and green with green pickles, and said, tickle my pickle.
Tickle my pickle is the only thing you have left to your name. Butt cheek hanging out. It's my favorite story.
She's like, serious? And I mean, of course, we had all the feds come out. Like, I started, did you do the code red? Did you order your house to be on fire? I said, yeah, I did it with my wife and daughter in there. And I had these boxers in my rig. I don't even have my cell phone, y'all. But it's just and the next slide just shows, hey, you can rebuild anything. Oh man, that's stupid stuff in your life. That doesn't mean anything. And we put a double wide trailer and lived out here for 3 years, and we rebuilt our dream house. And my daughter just got married there 2 years ago. So it's a great success story. All right. So this is real important to me. If you want a cool book to read called Two Chairs, that's my little blurb on spiritual health. Y'all, there's something deeper than just living on this earth, that guides me. And I think staying guided is important. That's Britney's two chairs that she's got set up at the island. And this book changed my life. Sometimes it's hard for me to read the Bible or even get quiet, even do a quiet time in the morning. But if I see you, John, if I put my phone down and I just get out there, I'll tell you how to do it without reading the book. But
Tell us how to do it, Clay. Tell us
all
how
right.
to, sorry. So this is, guys, how to be successful at all. So we've got a vision, we're making a plan, but making our own earthly plan can only go so far. So
That's
the ability to learn how to hear God's voice in your life and how to actually be guided is really what the word Ariel, one of the many meanings that Ariel means to me. It's to like tap into that heavenly perspective, to tell you the world's saying to go left, but you're telling me to go right, even though it doesn't make any sense. How do you operate from that place of faith when you can't see, but this heavenly perspective can see right around the corner? There's like an army ready to attack you over here, and this is like actually the path. So tell us about Two Chairs. A lot of people are going to read it, but what's the essence of how to do this? We got time, Clay.
Yeah, the essence, and I can tell you real simple, this will change your life too. But you just set up a chair, put your phone down. Of course, you'd like to do it at the BVI, but you don't have to. I do it in my little redneck backyard. But you talk for 1 minute, and you just lay everything that's on your heart. Some mornings I don't even know what to say, and you just lay it out there, and you just talk to God. And then what you do after that is listen for 4 minutes. And you talk about hard in this day and age to listen, in this day and age of scrolling, but you listen for 4 minutes. And if it doesn't change your life that simple, you call me and let me know. And first day I ever did it, I felt something so powerful that I can't describe. And I've done it a bunch of times since then. I've done it turkey hunting to where I just fell on my knees. I know Britney doesn't like hunting, but I fell on my knees in the middle of the woods. I took my wife back there. So just kind of finding God in your environment and your place and listening. And this opened the door for my retirement this year, because he said, I got something else for you, big boy. I got something that's gonna rock your world and change you. And it happened this week, man. I had two very powerful things this week where people were hooked on fentanyl, And next thing you know, I find myself at a hunting cabin in the middle of Podunk, South Carolina, counseling this guy and getting him on Suboxone and getting him off fentanyl. And it all started from this 2 chairs thing is what guided me to this. And so I challenge you to stay guided, to stay guided. All right, sorry about that.
Hey, one more $1,000 you owe to feed the ponies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blake knows he's gonna hold you accountable. He'll come rescue you to the ground. So the concept is you sit in a chair and you surrender your stuff to God and you just listen and you write. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you just listen for 4 minutes. You don't even have to write, but you'll be compelled to write your story because, guys, all of us got a book in us somewhere. Write it down. It's powerful to even to tell that to people.
Amen. Amen. I love that. And it's so cool. It's even to give up what you gave up to retire. Obviously you sold your business, but you never know. That one person you met with 2 people this week, that one person that you prayed with this week and got to sit with as a doctor using your skills, you would have never been available to make that call.
Nope.
Know what lives you're going to save. You don't know what you don't know, but the world's going to say, why would you give this up? You love serving, you love this. And that's the point of being guided, because you don't know what that one person's going to end up doing. And it's not even your business to judge if it's worth it or not. Worth is when you're being guided, like it's not your business. And so,
yeah, that's right. Middle of the day yesterday. I'd have never been there. And the guy, he's got 2 kids. I mean, he'd be dead without me getting involved in this and putting him on Suboxone. Neil Gupta, I saw that. We wrote a book together and I talked about Suboxone. If you know anybody on opiates, here's my gift to you. You get them to me. You get them to me. I will do a Zoom with them and I will hook them up because I'm good at it. And it's epidemic in this country and it's affected me and my family. And I'm big. They ought to blow all the boats up. I don't care how you stand politically. It ruins lives.
just to be clear, you're not saying you're going to hook them up with opioids, are you? For the haters out there, just so I know. I saw a couple of people write your name down real quick. You're not saying you'll do that. You're saying you're going to help get them off of the opioids, right? Okay.
Correct.
Just to be clear. Amazing. All right. So we've got a vision. We've got clarity around the vision. You got a plan, and now you're being guided. What's next?
Well, financial freedom, you have to set on a path to be financially free. You really do have to think that I'm going to be rich someday. I don't care how old you are. You look at some of these people that became wealthy in their 50s and 60s. Colonel Sanders didn't, create the chicken till later. There's a lot of people that get credit. So I don't care where you are in your life. I want you to think after this talk today, how can I make more money? Because the more money that I make, the more good I do G-Force. The more money that doctors make, the more they can do. I tithe my money. I give till it hurts. You can ask my wife. I sent the heroes to the island. I sent, we did the best thing ever. We sent caregivers of special needs kids to the island. And it was the best week of my life. I just did a big retreat for caregivers. I send individual caregivers on winter's travel trips because I think everybody should travel. That's what I do with my money. That's what I do with getting rich. And you can do that too.
I want to say this really quick. So not only he's always taking care of people, and he sees like special needs people all the time, but he also sees how hard it is to take care of people with special needs sometimes, and what it's like to be a caregiver. Not only did he pay for them to come to the island and their flights, he also paid for childcare. Someone around the clock the whole time they were there to take care of the person they feel like they can't leave, like qualified nurses and people to take care of these children and adults, that to actually give the caregiver a respite. And it was so beautiful. Not only did we pour into them in the mornings, but at night we actually had them write a book by interviewing them. What do you wish you had known? Do you wish you had aborted? And all of them said no. All of them said no. And why? It was really powerful. So it's just something that the information gathered from them and them getting to share their truths with people will live a legacy for everybody that ends up reading that book. So very cool. All right. So how do you gain financial freedom? This is a pretty big deal for people who might think it's impossible.
Well, one we've kind of already been over with your eulogy. Set out to make money. set out. I mean, I said in my usually, he and Kelly have donated over $5 million to churches. Good gosh, what a lofty goal. But I set out to make money so that I could do that. All right, let's go to part two.
All right, so essentially your eulogy guides how much money you need to make and
Yeah.
where you would spend it. So having that like at the end of your life, looking back, what did I do as an impact, and then how did money fuel that? Now that guides my business decisions, my investing decisions, things like that.
Right. And I can tell you 99% of you, except for Jeremy Newsom, maybe, you're not ready for this. You're just not ready. You're going to want to do this today. But you got to build the framework and get your mind right. That's what my daddy said, get your mind right. And so I invested in myself and I read these great books. I am so sick my house burned because I had so many messages in these 5 books to my kids. And so I would start with Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you hadn't read that, it's a simple read. Um, it's really written on about a third or fourth grade level, so everybody can understand it. It's simple and it tells you a mindset change of how you can change your life financially. And it talks about being a business owner versus being an employee. And you got to know that it affects everything in our tax system is taxed. The employees are getting killed. Business owners are getting tax breaks. It is huge. So even if you start with a separate LLC and own one piece of real estate and build off of that as a separate business, the tax benefits alone, even if you suck at it and you can't flip houses like BFT or all this stuff, you got to have a tax plan, and it starts by owning your own business. So Rich Dad Poor Dad, then go to Think and Grow Rich. You Think and Grow Rich is something you have to read the rest of your life. It's so deep and rich. The little boy was born in the first chapter with no ears. And that's all I'm going to tell you. How he became a success will blow you away, and how they didn't even believe the doctors. They told the doctors they're full of crap. So I'm admitting
So
that the
you love when
doctor,
people say that to you, right? Uh,
yeah,
no, I think that our heroes, what are the common denominators? And that's one thing that is the biggest thing I've seen in all of my successful groups and recurring things is, what books are you reading? What is your ethos as a human being? How are you filtering through the events in your life? Are you a victim or a victor? How do you go from being a victim to a victor? How do I go from poor to wealthy? It's always a frame of mind, always perspective. It's always filters. And the best way you can adopt the mindset of someone you want to be like is to read these books. And so heroes have all been told to read the first two. But if you're ever hearing a book recommendation from someone you want to be like or is successful in an area you want to grow in, that's one of the biggest tricks for you to become successful is books.
yeah. My mom, go back. I want to talk about those other two a little bit. The Magic of Thinking Big. So Lou Holtz, when he coached at Notre Dame, wrote a book, and he coached at South Carolina, by the way, and he read The Magic of Thinking Big to change his life. It changed mine too. The Strangest Secret. Who's got Audible? All right, Audible's worth $5 million. If you want to learn to make $5 million, I know that sounds crazy to some of you. You go to Audible, you start downloading these books. Every day you're in your car, you're exercising, you're running ultra marathons like Newsom, you're doing these crazy things. You plug those earphones in and you hit play. And you play The Strangest Secret. I want you to start with that one. It's 30 minutes. It's free on YouTube if you're too tight to get Audible. Okay. But it's worth millions. But get The Strangest Secret. Listen to his booming radio voice, his secrets of success. Anything by Earl Nightingale is amazing. If you don't know where to start and you hadn't read in years, go listen to that. And if you want more of that, I'm like Oprah. I got a book of the month club. I have everything I have financially because I changed my mindset and I said, I'm going to be rich. I'm not going to be like average doctor. I'm not going to get in a lot of debt and have a lot of toys and not have any real wealth like doctors should have at this stage. Okay, next slide. All right, and then on the same vein, all rich people have stocks in real estate. Sorry, you got to do the homework. You got to know it. And the way you know it is you go to G-Force, you go to things like this where we talk about stocks and we look at candlesticks and we look at a plan for your wealth, plan to have real estate portfolio. You have to know how to do other things like this. And so you have to educate yourself. Stansberry Research, if you want to start with a simple, it's the largest stock information in the world, and they give out great advice. It's pretty cheap to start doing. I've spoken at their conference twice, and it's amazing advice on slow ways to do stocks. I do stocks slow. Newsom's fast. I'm slow. I don't have as much time as he does to put into it. Here's my tip: buy Apple when it's low. I've done that
All
for
right, what's the most you've made on Apple in a day?
in a day. I don't know.
In a day, what's the most you've made based on how much Apple you've bought now?
I don't know. I'm not answering that question. Probably, but I mean, six figures easy. If
Six
not,
figures in a day. You showed me your phone one day and I was like, holy crap.
yeah.
You just said buy Apple. So the point is, guys, whether you go all in on stocks and real estate, let's just talk about stocks, or you third party it, or this is your full-time, short-time, outsource, whatever. Is there money to be made on stocks? Take the time to get educated. Take the time to get educated. A bunch of people just paid Newsom to teach him some really crazy strategies, high school math. I'm so excited for what you started there, Newsom. Thank you for that. That raised like $33,000 for the nonprofit this weekend.
Yeah, that was amazing.
What a cool skill that Newsom has taken the time to learn stocks in a way that he can teach others and use his gift of education to raise that much money. That'll fund a full rescue mission, like a full one with like multiple takedowns. Like that's such a big deal to even take the time to learn something that can then help, that will then have some little kid out there that's not getting raped every day because he volunteered his gift. Like that's how cool it is when you take the time to learn things that people want to learn from you. So it's just an amazing circle. But yes, top two things, no matter what business you get into or whatever way you make money, you're going to need that excess money invested in something. And these are the top two ways that people grow it. So take the time to learn this. It is easier to learn how to invest than it is to learn an instrument. Just write that down. It's easier.
All right, so this is in my book, and this is the way I created Colonial Family Practice and made it into one of the biggest south of North Carolina, is I copied it. I went to Dillon, South Carolina. They had endoscopy suite. I'd been trained in colonoscopies and EGDs. And we're going to give away a free colonoscopy at the end, by the way. I'm just kidding. But they were doing that. I found a guy that was doing it, and this is 30 years ago, about before the internet. And I went and saw his practice, and he had a CAT scanner. So I learned how to put ancillaries in my office and become a one-stop shop. And all I did was copy. And you become like the top 5 people that you hang out with and you admire. So I got Britnie Turner right there, of course. Dabo Sweeney, coach of the, until this year, perennial champions of college football. Jim Clements, who's the president of Clemson University, I bullied my way into a relationship with him. I brought him to the island because he's got a special needs kid. I got a meeting with him in 2 weeks. Billy Powers, gave 60 million to Clemson. I'm like, how did you do that? I go in there and meet with him like 10 times trying to figure out how do you make enough money to be able to give 50, 60 million to something I love.
Can I pause you real quick there? What a cool thing is. So listen to guys, there's so many secrets to success he's saying in just one sentence. I bullied my way into having a relationship with him. Then he said he gave to him. So he actually paid for him to come to the island. You don't have to bring people to the island, but he did that just so he could be strapped in a place with him for 5 days to get to know him better. So he's finding ways, like people don't just magically become your friends. How do you get in the room with them? How do you serve them? How do you give to them? And then who wouldn't want to learn not just how do I make an extra $60 million for myself and my yacht? How do I make enough money that I could give 60 million away? He is pushy about getting in the room to sit at a table to adopt a mindset of someone that is doing something he wants to do. These are the clues of success. And he just says it like it's nothing because it's a way of life for him. These are the common denominators. I just wanted to point that out. Keep going, Clay.
No, that's exactly right. And it blew my mind. He showed me his whole blueprint, and I thought I'd done something until I looked at his. I was like, oh my gosh, this is where I need to go. And it was real estate. It's a lot of real estate guys, so I learned a lot from that. And then Justin Bad, he's the one who brought me to the island to begin with, and one of my best friends. Next slide. So let me go back to that. You can copy anything, and you got Chat GBT, right? If you think, hey, there's a business out there that I'm interested in, that I'm good at, that I think would disrupt this, whole space, and people would hire, anybody would hire me to do that, then go copy it. Go copy it. Chat GBT, find out where they are, go call them, fly to Georgia, go meet with them. They're going to tell you everything. It's the easiest way to start a business that I know. You have to start another business, people. I don't care what you're doing. That's one of my take-home messages. If we're going to be financially free, you got to start another business. One way or another. And it can be stock business, real estate, or something else. Service business. Go copy it. It's already been done. You don't have to be original. All right, let's go to time freedom. So you have to also work on your time. This is interesting. And a lot of people, especially doctors, they're the worst. So they just work all day, every day, and they don't ever take the time to work on their business. They don't ever take time to work on their time. Like, I'm going to schedule some downtime, some time off. Next slide. So of course, set goals and set up your money making to reflect those goals. Your money making has to go with your goals. They have to go. Are you having your money work for you? I'm sorry, are you working for money, or is your money working for you? That is a key sentence. I want all of you to ask yourself. I, as a doctor, was a high-paid janitor. I really was. I made more money the more floors I swept and the more people I saw. When I was away, I didn't make money. I was not a true business owner for a long time there until I figured out how to make it where I was a true business owner. That's my practice right there. One of my 14 that were about that big.
One of 14.
Yes. Could you leave your business for 2 or 3 months, go to Europe, go wherever, and come back and your business is doing relatively the same? Ask yourself that question.
And if you don't, if you can't, I mean, I can't right now, and that's because I've like scaled, and then I got into bigger and bigger things, and then some of them have cycles. And so it's like, what do you really need to do? Who can you trust? And you're going to talk about this in a minute, but don't think I'm just going to go to Europe on vacation. Oh, I don't have any of those dreams. What if you get cancer and they tell you that the surgery will F you up for 6 months?
Yeah.
And you are going to be in so much pain, you're not going to be able to think and lead the same way. You have to be able to take care of your kid. What if your kid's hurt or sick in the hospital for 6 months? You're not going to just be sitting there making calls from the hospital room. We had a niece of mine get bit by a snake, and she almost died. Her legs were ripping and exploding with the poison from a double bite on a rattlesnake. Her mom's sitting there going to work. No. So how can we have this freedom to be able to do fun things, but also do necessary things? Because life pops up. So it is critical for you to not be living on the edge all the time. And again, sometimes your business will take you there, and that can be business.
And Britnie, I challenged Britnie. I don't mind telling you, I challenged her. I said, you got to get to where you can walk away for your business and it still does good. The island still does good. And she's getting there, but I'm planting that seed, and I'm giving you the seed too.
Oh yeah, we're talking to ourselves here too. Is there a book you recommend that teaches this mindset to help people understand? Because I don't think we have it in the slides.
I think Cash Flow Quadrant is a good one. With Rich Dad. Any of the Rich Dad Poor Dad tells you how to be in the B business quadrant and the owner one. Whereas, instead of being the E, where you're an employee. All right, next. E-Myth. Yeah, that's a good one. E-Myth is a good one. All right, so you always have to rest and stay connected. And this is another one of, next slide. One of my core messages is winners travel, baby. You can't say it without saying baby, right? That's right. So this is I do my best work when I get away, when I see the world. Travel just opens your mind and soothes your soul and just makes you attitude of gratitude. And this is me with Justin and Heather on our first trip to the island on the left. I thought I was going to a timeshare conference or they were going to take my kidney out, you know, and then
He was my first test people on the island. This was like a test group-ish. So they were the very first people on the island ever. And I don't know what you thought you signed up for, but it wasn't right.
exactly, exactly. And then, you know, taking my family, that's my wife. You know, I got a little game, Newsome, right? See there, I got a little game. Brittany says
You're
she's
way up, dude.
she's way hotter than me, right, Brittany?
Way.
And then that's my crowd at Clemson games. So I've always been intentional about travel, you know. And my best business ideas, the best idea I ever made money with at Colonial was when I was on a trip, just me and my wife. And I was just kind of brainstorming one day by myself because I had all this hustle and bustle and all our responsibilities taken care of. And so I would encourage you to book that trip, book that plane flight today. Where are you going? Where you going, Anil? Where's the next trip? Where do you want to go in this world? Don't wait. Your house can burn down. Go. Go. Winter's travel. All right, next. The greatest health is wealth. Of course, I'm gonna get my little doctoring in. And this is easy. This is easy. Low carb, quit eating bread. One step for tomorrow. What can I do, doctor? Quit eating bread. No bread. My family's laughed at me for 20 years. I'll go to McDonald's. Give me a hamburger, no bread. It's all sugar. It has no nutritional value. Neither does 90% of all this food that we have, but you got to eat something. But if you just bread, rice, pasta, you know, cereal, get rid of that stuff. Just don't eat it. Next. The next thing is exercise. 30 minutes, 4 times a week. That's got to be easy, right? Just sweat. Sweat is mental health. I'm not sure it helps us physically as much as I do mentally. All right, next. Sleep. The newest thing is to get in that bed for 8 or 9 hours. You might not sleep that long. Get you an Aura ring. I'm playing with mine right now, fidgeting. But that thing will tell you what the deep sleep I had last night. Alcohol affects that every time, y'all.
Hey, you have a cool story if you don't mind sharing on your switch to magnesium glycinate.
Yes, I do. I was on Ambien for about 25 years. Told patients nothing wrong with it. Well, there's some conflicting new data that says it can mess with your old grape here. And I have Alzheimer's in my family, and I did not want to take that chance. And I set out on a path to get off Ambien. Now it was hard. It
Mm.
took me like 2 to 3 weeks, but just like everything else in my life, I set up, I wrote my goal out. I'm going to get off Ambien. I'm going to take a half for a week, a quarter for a week. I'm going to exercise. I'm going to get up at 5 in the morning, whether I'm tired or not. I'm not going to take a nap. And then that next night I'll fall asleep. And it's magnesium glycinate is the name of it. They're 240 milligram tablets, Walgreens, get the generic. And I take two about an hour before bedtime. And let me tell you, I got it whipped. I got it whipped. I'm not on Ambien anymore. I take this for sleeping. I'm sleeping better. My ring even proves it. If I drink alcohol, even one, and I'm not a teetotaler now. I love a thing of tequila now, but every now and then. But if I keep drinking, it messes with my sleep. You can look on the ring and see that. Eating food too late and drinking alcohol is bad for our sleep. So try that magnesium glycinate. Yulia, I see you on here, and she was a big part of that caretakers because she and them gave to that. So thank you. I appreciate you. Next, checkups, you know, go to the doctor. I don't care what anybody says. You go to the doctor every year. Eventually, they're going to save your life. There's some things you can do to prevent, you
I
know,
asked Clay, I said, "Did doctors go to doctors?" And he said,
rarely, rarely. Doctors, you need to go to the doctor.
Mhm.
Sorry, suck it up and go. Even if you think you don't need to. The newest things are blow your mind. Medicine's going to change y'all more in the next 20 years than it has in the past 2000 combined with AI and especially with peptides, with GLP-1s, with all that's coming out in the world. We're going to make Alzheimer's into a long-term illness instead of something that's going to get people. So if you don't go to the doctor once a year and you read all your stuff on the internet, you're going to believe some quackery. You got to be careful. So go to the doctor every year.
Quackery.
Quackery. Next, that's my family there. I got one grandkid now. I got two more on the way. So the second.
Congratulations. I saw today he's having a second little boy.
Yeah, so they listened to the sex talk really well when they were little. They got it figured out. So I'm proud of them. um, sorry. So be intentional with your kids. One-on-one trips. I still do that today. Go out to eat with them one-on-one. Same with your wife. Same with your grandkids. Meet them where they are. Find out what their thing in life. My middle son became a golfer. I didn't know one thing about it. I'm a redneck. I like to fish and do other things, but I learned how to play golf and for my son, So I didn't challenge you on your relationships today. Are they where you want to be? Suck it up and call them. Suck it up. Call your dad, call your mom, call your brother, whoever you're pissed at. I don't care. You're going to be dead. You got one chance. You better call them and tell them. If you can't call them, text them. Tonight, there's somebody on this call. When I give this talk, somebody always reaches out crying the next day, like, hey, I told my brother, I'm sorry, I love you, I want to hang out. Change your life. Forgive, forget, move on. Family is what matters. That's what matters in that eulogy. It really does. Okay. So you
Well,
got to win.
this was
Doctors.
me asking him, how do you preserve your family? So let's just take a second away from the slides. You built a mega business. You did work a lot of hours. You didn't come from a big wealthy family where daddy paid for everything for you. Just to clear that up, like you did come from nothing to build this, and you still have a family who loves you. And I asked him, like, how did you do that? And so take your time on this. Like, where did you do it right? Where did you do it wrong? What do you think is the things you did best right and most wrong that you would advise people not to?
That's good. And thank you for God, I'm a big old crybaby. Thank you for noticing that, because like Brittany told me, you're the one of the most successful people I know, and I'm like, that's a bunch of bull. I'm not near as successful as all the people in her life. And she said, but you have your family, and they love you, they adore you, they support you, and I do, and I that really has given me some peace lately, is because I have loved on them. I'm still with my same high school sweetheart 40 years later. I love you, babe. Um, and I've worked on it. When we've been up and down, it ain't great. It ain't all roses. We have to work on it, both of us. And we make time just to go on trips ourselves. One-on-one trips are important. And it shows that I love her and I'm going to spend time with her. One-on-one with my kids um, is huge to me. And I'll go out of my way and say, all right, Clayton, we're going fishing next week. Me and you go spend the night, and we're going to work on our relationship. And I'm not just on them all the time. I'm not just fussing at them all the time. I'm trying to build them up. And so, if anything's worked, it's been that one-on-one intentionality with my kids. And that when I wrote my eulogy, Brittany, I went back and refocused, because they were college age and higher, and they didn't want to hear from me anymore. They're tired of me preaching winter's travel to them, and they're like, "Leave me alone." And I went back and kind of started treating them more like an adult instead of a kid, and that made all the difference in the world. And they've had their big share of troubles. I've been in there with them in that, but thank you for that.
If I could say what I witnessed the other day, because it's odd to have, the dynamic, especially you've got like a junior, you've got, young bucks trying to be, and you're such a leader and a strong personality too. It's actually very rare to have it work so well. And so you always wonder how, how authentic is this, da, da, da. But I went to his retirement party a couple weeks ago, and his daughter literally, like, there was speech time where people were saying how wonderful Clay is and how much he's changed their life, because he's done that for so many people. Would have been there for 12 hours if we opened it up to the crowd. But she went in the back room because somebody was being loud, and then like ripped these people in half. How dare you be disrespectful and back here giggling it up during my father's talk time? I've not actually met another kid that's not like, "Oh, dad, blah, blah," and she's not like that in any way. She was chewing people out that were probably important people in your life. She didn't give a crap. She was so pissed that people would ever be disrespectful of you. And like, so it's not just like, oh, I like my dad. I'm a defender of my dad. And that was really powerful for me to see what a close relationship can bring in with all the things that you've done. Again, I'm sure it's been super imperfectly, but Where did you learn the one-on-one time?
Yeah, I stopped talking immediately when she came up to me and told me to be quiet.
Where did you learn the one-on-one thing?
I don't know. I just did it. I just always did it. I just always wanted to be one-on-one with my kids. I may have read it in one of these books, but I don't remember. I really wrote it in my book.
I like it.
Um,
That's good.
it'll change your life. It'll change. Go on a date with your kid, go take them somewhere and what they want to do you got to do what they want to do. You can't force them to do everything I like to do. And so once I did that, imagine guys, you're going to your retirement party. Okay. Who's there? Who's there? You want to know what's important? Who's there? I walk into a room, they surprise me. There's a snake line of people in this huge, just auditorium of all the people that love me and are there. And I start high-fiving everybody in the line. There's two lines, and I'm snaking around. And I see the CEO of the hospital who's 80 years old that hired me to come back to my hometown. I see all these people that have stepwise been there. My first nurse practitioner who's 85. And I'm going down this line, and I'm hugging and I'm crying. And I get to the back, and my kids are there. And my whole family traveled from all over. And Britnie Turner is hiding in the back. She travels from the island to come to Sumter, Podunk, South Carolina to be there for me. And I just bawl it. I'm just bawling. So if you want to have an impact, think about that retirement party. If you want to think about it, that's almost like a funeral, except for I got to watch it and see who meant something to me. So
And to have a wife that likes you enough to plan it.
yeah.
Which is very cool. A lot of people don't have a significant other that would take the time to put on an event like that. And
Yeah.
she did. She put all that together. And so there's so many pieces here. Type it 2 if you're getting some value out of this. And we should keep going.
All right,
Some
let's do
2s.
it. So
We got some 2s. Awesome.
all right, let's get to it. So here's how to reignite your spirit. I'll finish with this. See, y'all are tired of hearing me preach.
You're good, Clay. You're good. We just got a bunch of 2s.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. So this is Rose and this is Jacoby, one of my special needs guys. And even though she's a Carolina fan, she and I became very close. And Jacoby, you see, I got my left hand on his arms because he would hit me if I let go for a second. He would just face pop you. He looks like Scottie Pippen, any Chicago Bull fans. But I took care of him for years, and I got to see firsthand Rose not be able to go do anything in life. I tried to send her to the movies, tried to send her where she couldn't go anywhere. So finally, we arranged health care for Jacoby and got her to Disney World. And that was one of the first winter's travel trips I'd ever done. And oh man, guess who that helped? Me. Because givers get. Write that down. Givers get. Everybody gets depressed at some point in your life. And if you get down, here's my surefire doctor formula to get out of it. Find somebody needs help and help them. Help them. It can't be at work. It's got to be separate. It can't be for money. This is how to win at the game of life, is to help people. I am so thankful that I learned this at an early age. My grandmother had Parkinson's, had a tracheotomy, couldn't even talk. And she would just spell on a Scrabble board, T-I-T-H-E, to my mom. And she taught me how to tithe my money. And I believe what the Bible says to whoever I give a little bit and you handle it well, I'll give you a lot. That's my redneck version. And it changed me. It changed me. I started giving and giving and giving, and I started getting and getting and getting. And this changed my life, and it will help you. These winter's travel, this is all about helping me in a weird way. Okay. All right. So how do you continue to elevate? How do you have prosperity as a doctor? Doctors need this, right? I mean, we all need it, but doctors need it. We all need it. You need a community. You need a band of brothers. You need somebody to call when the chips are down and it's bad. I call Jeremy and Britnie. I call people in G-Force. I've been talking to Newsom a lot lately. I've been working, I'm always working on my purpose and my stuff. So That's me at the island. Those are some of my favorite pictures. My family in the white picture in the middle that I took down there, and that's me breaking everybody down. Me with the heroes. What a wonderful part of my life. So thank you, Britton.
We love you. Type a 7 if you got something great from Clay. Amazing. All right, guys, we've got some questions. You can ask, how do you grow successful practice? How do you stay on track with your health with all these different moving pieces? He's gone through a lot. He's been sued. He's had people talk crap about him. He's dealt with insurance companies. He's had his house burned down. He's had family stuff. Like he's been through it too, not just all the good sounding pretty picture stuff. We need some questions. What y'all got? Come on. Come on and ask him. Lots of 7s.
Hey, Clay, Jumi, I don't have a question, just a comment. There are so many things that I love about you. My favorite thing is that your faith does not waver. And no matter what God has given you or not given you, your faith in him has not wavered. And that is what I admire most about you and Kelly so much. I love you guys. You're inspiring.
Love you, Jimmy. You're awesome. I'd love seeing your smiling face, man. I'm telling you.
Miss you.
That's an awesome chick right there. Track star, track coach, just super successful. And she had a big turning point event in the island, and she's still doing G-Force. I just thank you for that. It means a lot coming from you. Thank you.
I love the ripple effect on your family, Jimmy, because Clay acted on his eulogy. He took the time to get.
100%.
It's just so cool.
100%.
We don't even know. We don't even know who's going to be infected, and it's not even always our business. But like there are families in other states and other nations that are going to have a generational impact because you take action on getting clear on your purpose and taking your best dang next step guess on how to fulfill that mission. And so I just love that. I love seeing y'all together. It's so beautiful. Yulia just rewrote her eulogy. Yulia, I know you've got a question. She's very good about questions.
Actually, I don't. I do admire you, Clay, for sure. And I still remember when you did a speech a few years ago, you sent me the book. It's quite amazing. No, it's very inspiring. It's very inspiring to see that when you have challenges in life, you know, you talked about your house during your last call, and then Britnie mentioned the lawsuit and other stuff, that you can recover and become even stronger in the process. So that's really incredible to see. But I also really admired how you stuck to the vision, you know, the vision, the purpose, and kind of like not when things were tough, you kind of like stayed with it.
Yes.
So that's incredible.
And
you know, and I love Britney's always like, okay, you have to have a vision, and then you got to have a plan, and then how do you execute? It's always hands-on. It's incredible. It's like, okay, how can we make it happen right now?
That's right. Oh man, I could listen to you all day. All day. I mean, I could listen to you talk all day. Yeah, my book is on Audible. If you want to hear, I've read it myself. So if you want to hear a redneck read a book, and you can, if you're having trouble sleeping, listen to me read my book.
No, it's an incredible book. But if you want to hear Clay's beautiful accent, just as beautiful as Yulia's, listen to that on audiobook. I love it. Thank you, Yulia. Jenna has got her hand up. Jenna Griffin.
Jenna.
What's up, Dr. Clay Lowder?
What's up?
I wanted to ask what type of advice you give people who have been going towards their dreams, going towards their goals, and they're just from hitting it, but they feel like it must not be working.
Oh, great question. You're doing big things in your life, Jenna. Move all over the world and start a new career, right?
Winners travel.
Winners travel, baby. That's a great question, because you're going to hit plateaus And the stock market doesn't just go straight up, right? It goes up and down and up and down. And a lot of people with their weight, they'll do that. They'll get stuck on one plateau with their weight. And we always got to shock the system. When you get in a rut like that, you got to shock the system. Go back to your goals, go reread them every day, and then narrow your plan down, and then go see those top 5 people, right? Go visit the ones that have successful and done through. Call somebody on G-Force. Get with somebody in your community and say, all right, help me work through this. I'm stuck right here. People come see me. I'm like, okay, we're going to fast tomorrow night. We're going to quit eating at noon. We're going to not eat supper. We're going to go the next day till 10. We're going to shock that weight again and get it going. Then we're going to, when we come off of that and you break your fast, we're going low carb for 24 hours. I had a plan to shock them out of that plateau. So shock the plateau, and that's by leaning on other people when you don't want to do it. You don't even feel like talking to people. But I've been following you, Jenna. I'm really proud of you and your man. Y'all seem like y'all are thriving.
Thank you. Well, I guess we got to come up to see you next.
Exactly.
3 feet from gold. All right, Jessica Hernandez. She is a doctor. She's got some good doctor questions. Go ahead, Jessica.
Hi, nice to meet you, Clay, and thanks for having us, Brittany. Us doctor friends of yours. I had a few questions that were coming through my mind while you were talking. I guess kind of jumping off Jenna's question is like kind of when you're hitting the plateau, and that's kind of like how I've been feeling. Like I've done, real estate, I've done stock market, I work in the ER. I'm starting a company to help people navigate their healthcare with cancer diagnosis. And then I'm trying to think about like how to build my brand and get my voice out there. I just did a TED Talk, which is not up yet, but I just did it. And so I don't know, what is like your advice, I guess, for someone like me? I feel like I'm, when it comes to like that financial freedom, that like I feel like I'm not quite there, and I guess what was the biggest driver that like put you over the edge of, of getting there?
Right. Wow. Sounds like you're doing great, Jessica. I'm impressed. The TED, I want to hear that. You just got to drop that in the chat. Let everybody.
I'll send it to you. It's not out, it's not up yet. I just saw like the preview yesterday, and I'm like, thank God for editing, because that's not how it went in my mind,
And what was your title of your TED Talk?
Freedom and health, actually. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I want some of that. Just with the title makes me want to lean in and like, okay, who's Jessica Hernandez? I got that written down. That's cool stuff. So I think my thing is mastermind for you, Jessica, is you need to get with 2 or 3 different people in a room together and say, okay, here's what I've done. I want to go here, right? I want to elevate. And these are my 3 to 4 ideas. That's what I do in my coaching, is I start with just 3 or 4 simple ideas. Number 1, you got to get your mind right. You got to read all the books. Number 2, you got to set goals. And then number 3, you got to systematically go through all those ideas. Like, hey, I want to start a business where I consult, people on their Blue Cross Blue Shield. And so you have to kind of brainstorm that off with all those 2 or 3 guides that you have and say, all right, shoot holes in it. What's good about that? What's bad? Is it a low risk idea? Am I going to have to spend $5 million on the infrastructure and put all this, am I have to have an app, or am I going to guide people in a cheap, easy way that's a low risk idea? What can affect my financial health the most? And if it's a multi-million-dollar idea, you'll almost know it immediately. I've used my intuition on every business that I've ever done. I farm about 3,000 acres. I have like 15 or 20 commercial real estate properties. I do stocks on my own that I've picked, but I did that with help with other people. I didn't just jump into all those businesses. It seems slow to me. Everybody else thinks it's rocket ship fast, but it was not. And I would encourage you to get with them. I'd be glad to do a call with you. I'd be glad to do that. I loved my passions, doctors. You wait till the next little bit. We're going to tell you about the most exciting thing ever. And one of my things is to disrupt doctors, disrupt them, give them these feelings of hope and security that they can go to to the people in their lives and try to expand that. But you're on a great path, girl. Let's just escalate it.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Blake, and then Shonda.
Hey, sir. I really appreciate listening to you. Don't know about the South Carolina Clemson Tigers, but you got to be a Vols fan.
I hear you. Y'all are coming. Y'all are coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I really you got a lot of resiliency, and it's something that important that you said was, how do you keep your family and that together? That's huge in society today. And 88% of kids nowadays aren't being raised by their biological parents.
Ooh,
And that's pretty tough. So I definitely applaud you for that one. I
thank
know
you.
you got to stay busy to get where you've been, where you're at. So that's awesome. So
Thank you.
only
You.
losers look down. You got to keep looking forward.
That's right, buddy. I really, one of the main drivers of my growth was I was on call every other night and every other weekend because it was just two of us when we started. And I couldn't go to Clemson games, Blake. I couldn't do nothing. I was missing my kids' games. I couldn't coach. And I said, enough's enough. So I went out and started personally recruiting doctors myself. I didn't lean on anybody else and then I got 3, and then I got 4, then I got 10, and then I was on call once every 10th weekend, and I could coach kids games, and I wasn't on. I mean, we were doing hospital and office. That was back in the day, but that's really, everybody said, "What's your secret to success?" Well, I was trying to get off as much call as I could.
Yeah, and just being happy and just loving yourself and the kids, and having faith in the good Lord. I mean, you got to have that. So pretty awesome. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, Blake. Thank you.
Blake, Shonda.
Hi. Boy, nothing fires me up more in life than being around you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Gosh, I wish I was all your neighbors. Um, Dr. Clay, I am your stalker. I'm telling you. I just adore you and your wife, and we're aligned on some similar paths that we're on right now. So I'm going to be your stalker and try to pick your brain. I wondered, I put a question in here. If you were starting your nonprofit now, from everything you've learned from when you started it, what would you tell yourself to do? Because like I'm trying to bootstrap everything on my own and putting in my own money, doing everything on my own. And, I'm not a web designer, but I'm doing it and all those things. Would you spend some money instead of like what I want to do with the travel wishes into marketing and PR, or start from the beginning just as volunteer basis and everything as you can and keep the money solely for that? Like what would you do different now that you're in your spot?
Yeah. First of all, great job, China. You look great. You look fantastic. I'm so
Oh,
proud of you.
thank you.
And so we go to the island. I tell her the story of Winners Travel and Winners Travel Foundation. She says, "Oh my gosh, I'm the travel girl. I like to give travel to cancer people. I'm going to start a foundation." And she's done it. So look at the ripple effect that you can have on just one person. And now she's in California, right?
Yeah.
So she's starting her own foundation. I owe you a call, and I'm so sorry I got tied up with something when you were.
That's okay.
But I'm gonna do it. I'm good for it. But I do think this nonprofit space is hard.
Yeah.
It's really harder than I thought. And getting your message out there and giving people to give is difficult. I still think it's better mastermind. I finally, hired a couple of people. I think they're on the call. Emily and Hope, and they have helped me dramatically to get my name out there and to help me market and help me to start connecting with some of the people that love to give to caretakers and veterans and even cancer people. And she's going to do travel, y'all, too. So I would encourage you. Number one, Power of Who. It's a book I read that says everything you need to know is already in one of your contacts in your phone. So all you guys out there, look in your phone. It might not be Joe or it might not be Jessica, but Jessica may know, Robert down the hall, and Robert might know how to help you get started in that stuff. I've not been very good at it. I've been giving most of my money to Winners Travel and getting few people to give, and it's because most of it's because of me. It's because my failure to reach out to my contact list. So use the mastermind, use your contact list, and just keep pressing on. And social media is free. Social
Yeah.
media is free. And so I would encourage you to raise a little bit of money, do the first trip, and record all of it. That's what Britnie's famous for, is documenting the gut-wrenching story and why, and these people, why you changed their life. And then other people will want to give to that.
Okay. Thank you.
Great to see you.
You too.
Thank you, Joe. This will be our last question.
What would the first thing for a person with little to no money, what should I do first to even start thinking about this? Because it just doesn't seem obtainable to me right now. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
what to do.
Man, Joe, that's good. It doesn't seem attainable. What I attained, it didn't, there's no way I could have set out to dream what I did. And so first it starts with the dream, buddy. You gotta dream it. The Bible says mustard seed faith. You ain't gotta have but that much faith that you can do something different. And then I would encourage you to get your mind right. You gotta read these books and let that, like, oh my gosh, I think I can feel something stirring in me that I could do something. What kind of work do you do now, Joe?
I'm farming and I do volunteer work.
Great.
He's one of our heroes.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Thank you for serving us. Do you have any kind of business idea that you would do? You got any kind of thought?
I have ideas, but I don't have the money to start it, and I haven't figured out which one I really want to do yet.
Well, read those books. You don't have to have money to start a business. Britnie can teach you that. I mean, I'm telling you, you can use OPM, other people's money, and that's what Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Start with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and you just, every morning you get up, do your little 2 chairs, and you just write what comes to you, and you just write, hey, I think I could do this. And then next thing you know, once you've read those books, you get a mastermind group and start bouncing it off of them. And then you copycat the business. And next thing you know, you could have a business. If you don't ever think you can do it, Joe, you never will. And
Yeah.
you might not. But if you have that little mustard seed in you, you just might find something that changes your whole life and change your whole life financially.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, that vision can draw you into seeing what business idea is the right one. That's why that we have you guys do the eulogy, is to say, I love my husband. He always comes up with an invention right after someone else has already done it. But so not all ideas are for you. It makes sense. Like there's lots of good ideas out there. Which is the one that takes you to where you want to go? Gosh, I heard something earlier. But it's more important to have that compass than that exact plan, because we got to know that long-term direction. Where are we really going? So thank you all for your questions. And I know we have timeless truths that Clay has shared tonight, but there's so much that me and him have reconnected on just so many things lately. I used to coach him, and when he retired and I got to go to his party, I was like, what's next for you? What's next for you? And he said, it's burning in my spirit. We've got to help. We've got to help doctors. That we've got to help. And he called it burned out doctors. And I said, well, tell me what that really means. And he started explaining what doctors are going through. And I helped him just kind of get a little clearer on exactly what would you do for doctors? How would you help them heal? And we kind of talked about like heal the healers, and help doctors understand how do you start integrating this new way of medicine, which is what you were talking about earlier, Clay, is like, we used to think leeches would heal people however many hundreds of years ago. I mean, medicine changes every day, especially with AI now and all these cool new breakthroughs. And so you've got to stay relevant. And there's just new ways to heal people. And that's one of the things I'm testing on myself as a guinea pig, is some new ways to heal people. And so anyway, he's got a heart to help doctors go from essentially being a janitor where you're working for money to helping them be financially free so that they can give and serve the way they want to, and they're not having to necessarily do what they're being told to do by the hospitals and the ways that insurance companies are saying you're only allowed to help people this way. No, I want to help people the way that actually heals them. And
Yeah.
so that is the freedom he wants to give them. And so he's going to be hosting an event on the island, which is super exciting. And this is for doctors only, to be able to come out, find their clarity, but really learn how to achieve financial freedom And then after the island, he's got a whole bag of goodies to give people to really set them up for long-term, lifelong success to where they can have their families, they can have their health, they can stay relevant, they can be a business owner, not just an employee. And so that is, if you know a doctor that needs a reset, this is probably the event for them. And I'm really excited to be co-hosting with you, Clay. What else do you want to say about this?
I'm just super excited. So Brittany has some great big ideas. You know, she's going through a journey. She needs your prayers, your thoughts. Every night I'm praying for this chick. I mean, she's just such a force for good, and she's gonna heal, right? And so that island is a healing, physical, mental, spiritual place, and doctors need to heal so they can help people. And as a component of the island, we're hoping to add heal to it. We'll take your prayers, we'll take your help. We spread the word. We need as many doctors as we can. If you can't, if you don't know a doctor you can get it to, then share it on your social media. Share it on social media. We know this has got to start somewhere. It's going to be, next slide is March of this year, 6 through 10. And we're going to teach purpose and prosperity for doctors. And we're going to see if we can create a ripple effect. We need doctors as leaders. We need them to recreate their purpose and their prosperity. This is going to change their life. I'm going to model the way I did it, show them my mistakes, show them the way I screwed it up, and how you can get better, get rid of burnout, how you can enjoy practicing medicine again, how can you go on these mission trips and help people, and how you can givers get. How can a doctor get something from life when you feel like you've just given your down to your last straw, right, Jessica? I mean, that's just a powerful thing that we get to do. But look, it's epidemic in this country. It's epidemic. The doctors are dropping out in droves, and they need help too. And so I really want to help them. And so I would covet your prayers and help with this, mastermind me with this, anything you can think of to help me with this. I would appreciate y'all helping.
I love the new calling in your life. It's so cool. You get out of just to help pull other people out of the fire. Very cool. All right, give Dr. Clay a 10 on this chat, a 10 with your hands if you got so much amazing wisdom. Thank you so much for giving your gift. We love you, Clay, and just appreciate knowing you, the inspiration you've been to me, and also the friend. We all need something to fall apart to that yells at us and tells us and reminds us who we are when we don't feel like continuing to go on. Dealt with some of my darkest days in the last couple months. But believing is refining but fire. And but it really has been, my friends, that you can just be real with to talk through. And then again, this is not forever. This is a season, and you've been through worse. God will carry you through it. But here's some I just say, Clay, I need a pep talk. I need a pep talk. And I want you all to lean on each other for that. Lean on your lean on your G-force, and that's the power of community. So,
yes, I got something to show y'all.
Show us.
And then I'm gonna give you my email.
Oh my goodness. Hi, Mini Clay. This is the fat version of Clay. His head is as big as yours. He's so cute.
He's got a bigger head than I do. That's my first grandkid, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Giant.
He's
Do you say hey? All right. So see Lowder at winterstravel.org.
Amazing.
Mental, physical, spiritual, financial, you're stupid. Anything you want to send me, you send me.
.org. Ah, I messed it up right at the end. All right, guys, we're actually going to go into the second part of our call. We're going to run through it quickly. Clay, feel free to stay on if you want. There's some amazing impact. Jeremy Locke, welcome to the stage. You still there? Calling in from Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Please tell people, what are you doing out there? We have a slide later for it, but you can start with that. If you are not on our Aerial Volunteer Corps chat and you want to go on missions, please join now with this QR code. Do not whine to us that you didn't get to go on missions if you did not join that chat. This is where we put it out that you're invited to come on missions. With that, turning it over to Jeremy Locke. I'll skip to Jamaica. We'll come back.
Yeah, we'll just go. Let me go in order and then I'll hit Jamaica at the end there.
All right, never mind. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Dr. Clay, love you, brother.
Love you, man. Thank you.
He's the best. That guy's got it. The biggest heart, man. He's the Grinch after his heart grew 10 times that day. I'm the Grinch. I'm the Grinch before, but nah. All right. So yeah, we've had a couple since the last actually been pretty active. We are always very active. We've did 76 anti-trafficking missions this year. We're doing with the disaster response, it's picked up. Tis the season, unfortunately, where the storms start coming in. We thought we had dodged it pretty good this year, but Jamaica did not. I don't know if you tracked the Melissa, but it went crazy. But prior to that, early October, we sent a team out to Cebu, Philippines, um, which was a very large earthquake. And please keep praying for them because they just got hit again as well with a cyclone this time. So that's been pretty devastating out there. And the unfortunate truth is with a group like Aerial Recovery, we only get, like certain places will get more donations for. And unfortunately, there's just not a lot of people that are in our sphere that follow Aerial Recovery that donate to the Philippines. So going out there, that was a mission that we went out and supported as best we could, but it was one that we, probably spent 3 times as much money as we did brought in for it. So it was, it's difficult, right? We can't even afford to go back out to this latest one. So, we'll get things going better where we can hopefully go to all these things. But and we were able to get out there and have a good impact, get some inroads in, not just on the disaster relief side of things, but also meeting a lot of people out there to help us with anti-human trafficking operations later down the road. So that's another reason we were able to, lay down the groundwork for that too and get connected in there. Been able to give out a bunch of food and water, help people with stuff to sleep on. And then a lot of these places, mosquito nets, they seem they're very important because people get the water gets dirty, they have less proper things to drink, mosquitoes become rampant, and then they start transmitting diseases, which makes it even more difficult for everybody out there. So super important to get that type of stuff out there. So that was a really great impact to be able to go out, and hats off to Marco and the rest of the team that went out there and knocked that one out. So it was a good mission. Can I go to the next slide, please? All right, and then we also had the opportunity. I went out with a group of volunteers and Caleb and Jack and Eric. There's a lot of great people that went out. We went to a Communion America event, which was really awesome in at the nation's capital. It kind of had like a special for me because my first duty station in the Army was the honor guard. So, I was back out there at the mall and I used to run that like once a week with my squad and stuff in the morning. So it was kind of cool being back there, like I guess almost full circle, but being there and not just being forced to be there by the Army, but choosing to be there. And it was really neat because they had 50 tents set up for all 50 states. I also had one for like Puerto Rico. So some of the territories out there too. Puerto Rico, by the way, they know how to party. Their tent was bumping the whole time with prayer. So they win like most entertaining tent, I think. But they were 24/7 prayer. This is a week-long event. We went out there and just kind of helped with providing a little like security. We were able to break up an incident out there as well. And then I got the opportunity to speak on stage in front of a bunch of Christians out there and people that were walking by and deliver a quick little message. And so it was a real honor to be out there. And I got just a bunch of people praying for a bunch of other people and things in our life and healing and all of that. And actually met at the Tennessee tent. There was an amazing young group of, I call them kids, but they're probably in their early 20s. And they were just praying for me and Britnie for like an hour when I was walking back one night. So we invited them. You guys may have seen them at the gala. They're like prayer warriors. So they had a table at the gala and they were really awesome. But it was a super great event. Met a lot of wonderful people, some prominent pastors and all of that. And something looking forward to when they do this again, if they do them all over the place. I think the next one's gonna be like the LA Coliseum or something. So try to be doing those. So those are opportunities as well for volunteers, as we just need people to come out and just kind of check badges at certain areas. We're not like officially security. We're just kind of there with, in case, make things look a little bit more secure. So that was a really fun one. Can we go to the next one, please? And then I had the opportunity to go to the World Veterans Conference. Is the inaugural event there, where this is primarily South American countries that were out there. It was held in Bogota, Colombia, and it was retired, mainly like generals and police officers that were higher up that recognized the importance of mission post-retirement for both first responders and military. So they had created this thing. We had our representatives from Aero Recovery Ecuador there, General Salinas, and they actually handed the flag off of the event, and that got given to the Ecuadorians. So in October of next year, we will hold the second World Veterans Conference, which will be hosted by Aero Recovery Ecuador inside of Ecuador. And we hope to grow this thing out too. So stay tuned for that, because we want to invite people to come out to this event. It was really impactful and an amazing thing. And then, I always say this too, right? Like, especially if you guys are building vision boards, you know, you need to put that stuff in front of you, right? And life isn't about like accolades and recognition. Maybe for some people it is, but what those things are is those are good mile markers to make sure that you're on track, what you're trying to do in life. So to be able to be honored by the city of Miami Beach for our work was incredible for Britnie and I. That was the mayor there. Big shout out to those who know Andres Acion. He gave us the connection to there, and we held a training. A lot of you were in attendance for that, and it was really cool to be. Most of it was held at the Miami Beach Police Department. Their detectives were pretty amazing and came in there, and they recognized Aero Recovery for that work. So that was an honor to be up there and recognized alongside my wife for the hard work that we all do for the Aero Recovery.
And it's funny just because it's like on one of our hardest days, we were getting recognized for this really cool award. And I found like Satan will try to get you to look down at the ants biting your toes when right in front of you is like this amazing giant open door that God's looking at. And so don't pay attention to the ants biting your toes. Shout out to my arm looking all jacked in this picture. All right.
Maybe you need to do metaphor because I'm allergic to ants.
Can you
So
go
I can
back and look
pay
at that
attention.
tricep real quick?
Look at
Oh
this
my
tricep action.
Lord.
Jeez, man.
You
Getting
working out with Jeremy
shredded
Locke or
up.
something?
I mean, he's working out with me. But no, this is amazing. And so heroes that are new on this call, this is our impact section. And so you're hearing how G-Force continues to support the amazing work that the nonprofit does. And one of the big things with G-Force is me teaching y'all and helping you learn how to get a vision, turn it into freaking reality to fund your purpose and mission in life. And aerial recovery is that for me, my purpose and mission in life. Obviously, it's multifaceted, but you get to see when you take action like Clay did, people around the world have the ripple effect positively impact them. That's the impact section here. And it's also G-Force members are the only other group other than heroes allowed to serve with us on all these mission trips. So Jeremy's just kind of going through since last month alone. These are all the big major milestones, not including the ones that happened today. We didn't have time to make slides for, but we had a couple thousand people we trained today in some anti-trafficking missions we will talk to you about next month. Jeremy, what's going on in Jamaica?
Yeah, so I'm out here right now. I've got Steven and Cara with me actually over here. If they can say hi.
Hey, Steven's there. Hey, welcome to Jamaica, man. I bet they love your accent, Steven.
I agree.
Yeah, they do. He's our designated driver since he's used to driving on that side of the road. But no, so we're out here we're in Kingston right now. We have a group of our volunteers and teams have been switching in and out. We arrived there, as you can see on that graphic, on October 30th, and this was a big storm. Like, this was a super big storm. We did an evacuation the first day that we got there with 6 people out of there. So 6 Americans that were in a resort that got hit pretty bad. And then since then, we've been primarily doing route reconnaissance, like a lot of CalTopo mapping and spreading that to other groups that are out here. Health and welfare, there's still, we probably have like over 50 requests still of people that still haven't talked to loved ones since before the storm.
We
So
have
I don't know if
an
you can imagine
island.
that. These are like parents like trying to get a hold of their kids, kids trying to get a hold of their grandparents. Like it's pretty sad. Like
We have an island
I
staff member who actually lost a family member. She asked us to please go find my grandmother, or her aunt, and she died. She died in it. So it's a really big deal to not be able to talk to your loved ones, and we've been able to connect them, which has been beautiful.
Yeah, so that's been pretty amazing as you get out there and we're gonna go out tomorrow morning. We've got kind of two operations going on. One of them we're working with Global Empowerment Mission, helping get a bunch of tarps and roofing done. There's I would say from about if you look at Jamaica, we're out on the eastern side right now. A little bit of perspective, if there was normal roads that were a nice highway like you'd have in the US, and you could probably circle the whole island in maybe like probably 8 hours. You could drive a complete circle around the island. But we can get from the east to the west side of it. You know, the roads are kind of nasty, but takes about 4 hours. But everything the from the west coast to about 2/3 of the way to the east, that was affected by this storm. And my approximation is 80% of those structures are damaged and either unlivable or missing parts of their roofs and stuff like that. So the scale of the the damage to the structures out here is pretty catastrophic. This is another one of those missions that we don't get a whole bunch of monetary support for it. I think since we've been out here, we've raised a little over $60,000 and probably burned through pretty much all of that already. However, Global Empowerment's a good force multiplier for us, and we offer a service that they need, which is our veterans, our heroes, our volunteers are out here just working their butts off, like getting things tarped, getting aid delivered out. So we're working with Global Empowerment on that too. And then concurrently, we have an aerial recovery team that is running around and checking on people, and doing little spot things that come up too. So it's a good mission out here. There's a tribe called the Maroons. They're an indigenous tribe up in what's called Cockpit Country in Jamaica. I never even heard of them, but before we got here, but they are the only African slaves that were brought to another country under British control that revolted and then actually beat the British and earned their independence that way through guerrilla warfare tactics and coming in and out of the hills. So from my former occupation as a Green Beret, I have like mad respect for these guys. It's like legit, like the partner forces that we partner with. So they got a special place in my heart. So we're going to go visit them again tomorrow. They've got about 7,500 people in their community. You could kind of like equate them to, they're kind of like Amish would be in the US, where they have their own like traditions and culture and lifestyle that they stick to, kind of their own area, but they still integrate in and out of like the rest of the country, sort of. So that's kind of like the best way I could describe them. And they're really, really great people. But they have 80% of their structures have been damaged or destroyed as well. So that's of 7,500 people. So we've been getting them Starlinks, radios, to bring them a couple generators tomorrow and trying to help them out a lot. And they're very autonomous, but meaning they're very self-reliant. The government, for whatever reasons, will put them a little bit farther down the totem pole to be able to help. Just maybe imagine in the US, a storm comes through and an Indian reservation gets hit, that all the government
That sucks.
help may not go there right away. But
So real quick, sorry to cut you off, babe. We're just running short on time. So if you're looking to serve, then they can sign up to serve, especially if they join that volunteer link. We're going to be out there for several more weeks, right? Is that the plan?
yeah, so we're out here right now indefinitely. The aerial recovery mission is kind of like at that point where we've reached a threshold of funding where we're kind of day to day to see how long we can stay out here. But working with Global Empowerment, that mission is enduring right now. So we're doing kind of 2-week contracts with them. Well, contracts, but 2 weeks working with them. So that'll keep going on. So what that means is we need people out here.
Yes.
Those opportunities will keep coming, and the Jamaican people are absolutely fantastic. They're super appreciative. They're really great. And so it's been one of the better places I've been for people that are just like really thankful that you're here.
And they speak English, which makes it a little easier on
Yeah,
us.
they speak English, so it's easier. So
Keep up
maybe
the great
people other
work,
places
team.
were thankful, I just couldn't understand them.
Keep up the great work, team. Thank you so much. Thanks for being out there, Stephen, coming across the pond. Last thing for Impact, guys, thank you for everybody who came out to our annual gala. It was awesome. This was definitely our best one yet. It was standing room only in the back. We were beyond sold out. Thank you for everybody who donated items. J Money jumping up on at the end with your high school math. That was so cool. All right, we're going to rapid fire through the end of this because we want to honor y'all's time. Thank you for this, guys. So in this section, we go through news to know. We tell you not to watch the news in general because it's mostly bad news. The news is a for-profit company or a bunch of companies that make more money if they can get more ads, and they get more ads when people click their stories. So they try to scare you because your survival brain says, oh my gosh, I need to know this or I'm going to die. And so they've seen more people click negative stories than positive stories. So if you don't want to be inundated negatively, know that we will just summarize it every month for you. What's the news you need to know? J Money, what's going on with the government shutdown / back in service, baby?
You know, it's the longest one ever. Boy, Trump winning again.
You won.
Definitely did not feel like winning for anyone who works in government, but they did have a big vote, and they were pushing across a big bill, another big news piece. So yeah, long story short, he got the votes they needed. The Republicans outvoted the Democrats, and they have reopened the government as of today.
How's
So
that affecting stocks? Are we going to get into that in a minute?
yeah, we will definitely get into it in
Hang
just a
tight,
moment.
people. We're about to get into stocks.
Time for excite.
All right, what's this flights though? Flights are getting cut.
Oh yeah, there were for sure. I mean, because right, you have the most of the government operates all of our flights, right?
Yeah.
So TSA, air traffic control. I mean, there's probably even more components than that I'm not even aware of that are all federally operated. So if they're not getting paid, people were like, I'm not going to work, even though they know they're going to get their, paybacks or whatever it's called. But yeah, we're back. It's back open. So hopefully everything will turn to normal, which is perfect time. It had to happen because like the biggest travel season of the year.
I know. Thanksgiving was coming up around the corner.
Yep.
Amazing. All right. So that's good news, guys. I think that was scaring people. I think that people are starting to stop flying, and that affects a lot of things because travel is affected by that. And there's so much that that rolls in our economy when we are able to move. And so happy that that is over. And again, there's a lot that just got won, if depending on which side you're on. So this is just an interesting one too, is proposed tariff dividends. Trump is talking about announcing $2,000 to most Americans using revenue generated from these U.S. tariffs. The proposal remains under discussion, is not finalized, but Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, indicated the checks might target families earning under $100,000 per year and comprised of roughly 60% of U.S. households. So interesting. And again, if you want to read do you think he's writing these himself, like sitting there tweeting himself,
So
unfiltered?
here's what's hilarious. He actually is.
I feel like he is.
He does. Well, there's two things. So he does have a press secretary, and
Yep.
she sits next to him and has to verbatim do exactly what he tells her to do. So 90% of the time, she physically writes it, but she's sitting next to him. He turns to her and says, people that are against tariffs are fools. And then she has to type it that way. It's kind of hilarious.
What do you think her anxiety is like on a day?
100.
100,000.
All the anxiety.
All the anxiety. She has all the anxiety. Can you imagine? But this is not for the faint of heart. All right, so I'm just going to read this because this could affect everybody. People that are against tariffs are fools. We are now the richest, most respected country in the world. Who could do a better Trump voice than me? Feel free to pop on. With almost no inflation and a record stock market price. Let's hear from Newsom. J Money, next president. Newsom coming up strong. We'll hear if he believes in this. 401ks are highest ever. I love all the capitalizations here. We're taking in trillions of dollars and will soon begin paying down our enormous debt. 37 trillion record investment in the USA, plants and factories going up all over the place. A dividend of at least $2,000 a person, not including high income people, will be paid to everyone. Man, that would be fun to see. I think it's a cool idea. All right, we're coming up to stocks soon. Gabby, give us our AI tool, guys. If you are not investing in learning AI, you will be extinct when it comes to the marketplace. You must learn that. So every single month, we give you a really cool AI tool. What you got, Gabby?
This is probably going to help Chanda out a lot, especially for small business owners, or you have a nonprofit or something, and you don't have a lot of budget around marketing, and you're not going to hire a socials team. Google Labs has just come out with this AI tool called Pomeli. And so if you type in labs.google.com/Pomeli / it's going to create a whole bunch of on-brand marketing content for your business.
Oh, snap.
So if you just click through, Britney, yep. So basically what they do is the most important part is that you already have a website. And you just put your website, your business URL into Pomeli, and it creates what they call this business DNA. So they look at your website, they grab your logo, they know what your fonts are, they put all your color schemes on there, and then you can upload images if you want that are not on your website already, and click through. They will create
Wow.
campaigns for you. And they'll give you all these suggestions using your logo, your colors, your fonts, everything that you have on your website already, all your products, all your offerings. They learn everything about you. And then they'll give you all these campaigns just ready to go. So if
Guys,
you
look at Clay's face right now. Look at that interest. How interesting is this to you, Clay? Unmute that. You're muted. As a business owner, what, and a foundation owner, like, what's up?
That's amazing. I'm writing it down. I'm
This
writing
is
all, I'm
cool,
just like,
guys. Can save you entire hires.
Yeah, I'll drop it in the GeForce chat as well, so you can just click on this. But the great thing about these campaigns as well that it creates for you, if you click through, Brittany, if you say, I want this one, but you know, you want to edit something about it, it's super easy. You just say, I want to make this background sky blue, add the pasta noodles flying in the air, and then it makes it for you. You can words on it, you can change whatever you want. It will take the images from the website. And the best part about it being the beta version right now is that it's free.
What?
And they don't have put your credit card information in here to use the free version. It's all free right now, and they have not given any details about the pricing structure and the rollout of the pricing structure. So I would say that this is your like runway to download as much content as you can, put your website in here, and then you can just select whether you want, you're doing it for Instagram or Facebook, and it will give it to you in all the different sizes of the profile pictures you need, the banner sizes you need, the little videos for your reels. It will do everything for you. And so
Huge.
you don't have to waste time on Canva. It will just pull everything from your website.
Guys, remember when ChatGPT was our tip? That was amazing. ChatGPT was one of our tips. So stay tuned. You'll be ahead of the curve. Again, save time, save money, get your brand out there. Joe, as you're building your business, think through this. Like, this is going to be huge in saving you money and building out these programs. Everybody, all my entrepreneurs are like, oh, so good. Awesome. Thank you, Gabby. Type a 1 if that was helpful. All right, guys, we're going into the monthly force for good. Something Jay Money and I talk about all the time on Broke to Awoke is these incremental tiny changes you can make. Don't try to change your whole life in a day, but change your life by 1 degree. How can we be getting better? So we give you some pretty easily monthly challenges every month on how you can be improving in your health, your relationships, and your finances and your impact. So your November health challenge, we made this one so easy, but none of us need to be getting out there and getting depressed this winter. We want you to find a way to get in that sunlight. 10 minutes a day. It's going to enhance your serotonin, your energy, support you better at night. I've been really praying through like, okay, God, how do you want me? How do you want to guide me in healing? in this season. And something I felt very strongly about is to actually go outside and soak up the sun. I happen to live in very warm places, so I can actually like do it in like a swimsuit or a sports bra or something and ground. So get barefoot and soak up some sun. Now, if you live in a freezing place, find a way to at least get some sun on your face for 10 minutes, ideally in the morning. But there is so many benefits are regulating your mood, supporting your vitamin D production, reducing your seasonal depression, balancing your body's natural rhythms. Sunlight truly is medicine. And it's just really, I don't know, just interesting. That was one of the first things that God told me to do is just go outside, be in the sun, and put your feet in the dirt and see what happens. So I challenge all of you to soak up the sun. All right, your love challenge this month to increase your relationships. This doesn't have to be with a significant other if you don't have one. But if it is, it's kind of fun to do this. So each Thursday of this month, find an old photo of you and someone you love and send it to them and remind them of a special memory. So you can send it with messages like, this is still one of my favorite days with you. Look at how far we've come. You made this moment unforgettable. Look how much weight you've lost. No, I'm just kidding. Look at your old photos and speak that new love, guys. Just have fun celebrating going through life together. All right. And it's the moment you've all been waiting for. This is your finance challenge led by Jay Money, and then he's going to get into our stocks. Go ahead. What do we have? What is our finance challenge this month?
I made this one for Clay.
Oh, thank God.
He hasn't done this yet. He's still chicken.
Chicken. It's okay.
I
I'm
want you all to
him to come to Honduras. It's taken like 5 years. It's like it's dangerous. Come on, murder capital of the world.
he's very white. He'll get a sunburn. The finance challenge is for anyone out there who owns 100 shares of a stock. I want you to do a covered call on that stock. It can be Apple, Google, Tesla, Apple, Clay, it could be Apple. And so you are going to get paid to rent out your stock. So the way Britney has made a bunch of cash flow in the past, and the way a lot of us have made cash flow before, is renting a house. Well, you can rent your stock. You already own it. Might as well rent it out. And you can bring in an extra 1% a month if you want to. You don't have to, but you can. And it requires very little work, which I like. And it's just good to know that it's available. Doesn't mean you have to do it every day all the time. You can. And I do want to share, and sorry if I had the hiccups, they just started a second ago. I'm going to do a quick screen share to what Trump said, because he's not totally incorrect, but he's normally slightly incorrect. What I'm going to pull up really quick is okay, Jason, hold on. Give me 5 minutes, okay? Give me 5 minutes, buddy. This is the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 is the collection of the 500 largest companies in the world. Hashtag Go America. So this is, your Apples, your Googles, your Facebook, which is now Meta, NVIDIA, right? The largest companies in the world. So what most people do is have a money manager take all their money and then put it into this. But here's what's cool. You can just skip one of those steps and just put your money into this. You can do that with an IRA. You can do that with 401k. You can do it with a SEP IRA, which stands for a Special Employment Plan. You can do this through Robinhood. True or false, Miss Gabrielle Thomas? Can you do this with $1? Can you put $1 into this?
That is true.
She is correct. Ladies and gentlemen, type in a 1 if you have $1, right? Now you can go find it, by the way. If you're like, I don't have $1 like right in my bank account, well, go track down some couch cushions. I got $1 in my car. I found it the other day. It was pretty cool. So if you have $1, you can start, because the truth is so many people undermine where you're at. And you hear Clay and me talk about money and you're like, oh, I don't have $1 million, so I'm poor. No, you have $1, start. Amazing. Great job. You have to start in order to start. It's the only way to start. That's just what I heard, though. I'm still working on the logistics of it, but I believe if you want to start anything, you have to start something. So start with $1. And what happens is you start to see how it works. And then when you see something, what happens? You start to believe in it. And if you can start seeing your money grow and that dollar turns into $1.10, You put another dollar in, and then $2.10 becomes $2.12. And you put another dollar in, and $3 becomes $3.15. And you're like, oh my gosh, I can see it growing. This is amazing. You start to understand how money works. And that's one of the greatest vehicles of wealth is knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. It's knowledge. That's what Clay said. Clay's like, read a bunch of books. That's how I got smart. I've read over 400 books, not because I'm smart. I had to read them slow. And then I put them on Audible. And eventually they started sinking in. I was like, oh, maybe I can do this. I started to believe. So every single one of us can put in any amount of money into the S&P 500. And again, the S&P 500 is what Trump is saying is the highest price in human history. And he's not totally incorrect. In fact, right here, which was October. Do you guys remember October? Like Halloween? Halloween Day, the stock market was the highest priced in human history
Wow.
ever. So just really
Wow.
2-3 weeks ago. So here's what it looks like. If I really zoom out. So remember the tariffs when everyone was terrified? And I learned very early that Clay taught me if Apple's down 20%, buy it. Apple was down 20%. Google was down 20%. Facebook was down 20%. NVIDIA was down 20%. These companies that don't have any impact from tariffs. How's Apple being? I mean, like they don't have any real impact. The stock market was down 30%. And then it rallied huge. Now, I just want to share this with people who are taking close notes. I know we only have a few minutes left, but what you have right now is a gift. Trump has been president before, which means if you study history, you can figure out what's coming next. Was there a time in his previous presidency where the stock market dropped 20%, 30% in the course of a couple of weeks, and then he started issuing money to people? Did that ever happen before? Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, COVID. And we had this crazy, insane run up in 2020 and then 2021, right? And that's pretty much what's happening again right now. So my anticipation is that we actually will get a little bit of a pullback because, quick question, family, do you want to buy something at the highest price in human history with a lot of money or with a little bit of money? Probably a little bit. So if you have $100,000 and you're like, man, I would love to start investing into the stock market. Don't put $100,000 in today. Maybe put in $10 and then buy more as it goes down. And these are all companies that we can all use, that we all interact with every single day, right? Apple, all of you have an iPhone. If you have an Android, I'm sorry. But you can invest into companies that you know that you use every single day. And guess what? They're starting to become a nice little opportunity. Here's Tesla. And again, just to review it, Tesla, highest priced in human history. 2 weeks ago, you guys starting to see a trend? It's really high. So do you want to buy Tesla when it's really high, or would you like to buy it when it's nice and low? And the answer is, yeah, we want to start buying it low. So if you're looking to buy Tesla, around 400 to 380 is a really good spot to start picking up some more shares of Tesla. There's a few of you who know this company really well, ServiceNow. This one's been very popular. And again, we can start to see certain trends beginning to form. This is what's called a triangle pattern. All of you guys remember triangle from second grade. So if I'm looking at buying some service now, it'll be around $800 and then $700. Those are going to be two really good prices for service now. I am saying I do think the stock market will dip because in Trump's first presidency, did they shut the government down during his first term? Yes. Can we go back and look at what the market did? Yes. Market went up when it was shut down and it went down when it reopened. So it's like we can study this. It's not that crazy hard to see. So I do think most assets will go down just a little bit, but I think it's a great buying opportunity. Google, right? This was the tariffs. Boom, big drop during tariffs. Can I type in a 3 if you just want to be wowed for a quick second?
Ooh, me.
Just really quick second. Look at what Google did since not 1946, not the last 15 years, since April, Britney's birthday. She's older than me. That's why she's had such a big head start because she got born like days before I did, right? So she has a huge head start. Google is up. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen, 88% since April.
I was born in 98. All me.
88%. So Google right now is a good spot to buy around 260. Where again, we don't want to buy all the way up here. We do want to buy some of these incoming dips that's going to happen. And that's going to be a really, really incredible opportunity. Facebook. So if you own, we chat with WhatsApp a lot. So WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, 580 is going to be a really good deal. It was at 800 just a few months ago. Think about this as a real estate investment. If you're going to buy a house for $800,000 and the same house is available for $508,000 2 months later, that's a deal.
Now I got it. Now you're using real estate terms. Thank you.
Yeah, now Brittany gets it, right? It's like we all get it. It's like buy good assets when they're lower. And here's the best part. You guys want to see something cool about Meta? Look at how much money Meta made in Q3. $51 billion.
That's it.
$1 billion more than Clay made, but 51 billion for 3 months, boys and girls, 3 months. So this is an amazing, amazing opportunity to be buying some down here. So
why'd it go down?
it was way too high. That's the short answer. 800 is like a big, I call it a grandma number. A lot of people call it grandma numbers. Just these really big prices because you had a huge, huge run up and then you had a very, very nice pullback. And then you had another beautiful run up. This is a pattern that repeats extremely often in the stock market. Clay said it verbatim. Stock market goes up, stock market goes down. This is how it works. So when it has these nice rotations higher at really, really high prices, you sell your peanuts when the circuit's in town. When the circus is coming to town, you sell some peanuts. When the markets are nice and high and you're like, wow, everyone's making money. This is so cool. Boop, you sell, lock in profits. The asset comes down. You buy that asset, you wait 2 or 3 whole months, and then it goes back up again. That's very, very common how it works. And during these moments, when the markets are up here, if you don't want to sell your stock, for example, you have an IRA or you want to hold for multiple months, that's where it comes down to our finance challenges when you can do a covered call. All you need is 100 shares. And once you have 100 shares, you can start renting out your stock. It's a very, very good goal for anyone here to have. If you don't have 100 shares of a company, it might take some time. Let it build up, start owning some of these assets at low prices, rent out the stock, and then start asking really powerful questions like what service-based business can I create with no money where I can receive more income? I mean, ladies and gentlemen, that service-based business can be hang Christmas lights for your neighbors. How much does it cost to hang Christmas lights? Like walk around your neighbors like, hey, I got 2 hands and 2 legs. I'll hang Christmas lights for $200. You got to start somewhere. Again, back to the whole, in order to start, you got to start. I sold blackberries at the age of 6, made $1,500. Go pick some blackberries. Money grows on trees. It's available. Find out what tree it is. Find out where it's at. Pick those berries and exchange it for money, and then take the money and invest it into assets. It is the way for financial freedom. It's a very, very beautiful path.
Love it. Type a 7 if you got some value out of that. Amazing, guys.
Joe, that's Joe. That's your answer right there, Joe.
Christmas lights, baby. Get them
like
up,
a service, yeah, a service business, and that's just easy start. It's no risk. If it fails, okay, start another one.
Joe's incredibly gifted at like logistics. I feel like he'd be incredibly on top of that. He would.
Oh man, help old people with their computers. Like
yeah, logins.
Yeah, emails. Just go help our senior citizens that are 65 plus that aren't awesome with their computers. Go help them, man. They'll pay you $100.
And then my tip on the stock market is Trump loves the stock market, right or wrong. Don't care what you think about him. He loves it. I mean, I played golf with Lindsey Graham. He said he watches it every day.
Every day.
He knows it. So when the next time we dip, you know that he's going to fix that and make it go back up because he is in tune with it. So the next 3 to 4 years are going to be good. So every dip, the next 3 or 4 years, I'm going to buy all American stock. So that's I'm leaving. That's it.
Buy America, baby.
I love it. Awesome. All right, everybody. I hope you got a lot of value out of this call. We did do an open invite for doctors to come to this amazing summit with Clay. If you're not a doctor, but you want to come learn how to invest, we have sold out the abundance that's coming up in April. And so there's no more spots available. But if you want to come, we opened up another one. It's the first time we've ever actually done 2 abundances in
First
1
time.
year. If you're not a doctor, you want to continue to learn, surround yourself with great people. With Dr. Clay was at the last abundance and it was awesome. Shonda was there. It's a great event. Heroes get a discount. GeForce members get a discount. Come on out October 14th through 18th. I'm sure this one's going to sell out as well. All right, GeForce Heroes, we love you very much. Go. And until next month, may the force for good be with you all. See you next month.
Great stuff. Love y'all. Winners travel, baby. Let's go.
Hey.